Welcome everyone, and by everyone I mean two people, and by two people I mean one people because Stream Elements is not a person. Welcome Stream Elements, welcome Tag Barrel. This is today's image. We use a reference to a meme. This is a reference I'm gonna show you, but no one else is gonna understand. Okay, you're gonna be the only one who's here who understands. Let me try to find the tweet. I was recommended a tweet on my timeline that was like, there's a Chinese meme related to the phrase "what the dog doing," but it's like it sounds like "what the dog doing," but it's actually a Chinese phrase that means like my sword and shield. Choco Jacks, you're here. You're gonna understand. You're gonna be one of two people who understands what this reference is. Okay, so apparently there's a meme. The phrase "what the dog doing," as said in Chinese, sounds like this, which means my sword and shield. So they drew, there's a meme of this dog with a shield. Actually, it's knife and blade. Anyway, that's it. Now, if anyone else shows up, they don't understand, okay? The only people that get it are you two. Anyway, okay, so this is today's stream. Today's stream, we're gonna make some music. But not just any music, okay? We got strudel, which I've shown in previous streams, where you can write music using JavaScript. Now, I thought this was pretty cool. Let me copy over some files, because I've been working on some stuff off stream. Right, the ones that are here. We only have a few. What is this one? I don't remember this one. I also need to change the font. I like loaded. Oh, this is the thing that changes. No, we gotta delete this one. Get this out of here. This one changes your font. I don't like that it does this. Switch it back to monospace. How do I delete it? I sure chuckled at that meme. Exactly. Everyone, you won't get it. What's this one? This is one that I made. Okay, we're gonna delete all these. Delete all these. Welcome, Zoli. And then let me load the file that I have on my regular computer. Let's see, on the downloads directory. Got this one. And then we copy it over. We copy it over to default. And there it is. Welcome, Tub of Insects. Welcome, Stanley. What is that creature? Oh, if only you were here. If only you were here earlier. Some people understand. Okay, we're gonna load some files. Sync thing, default, this one. Welcome, Fakako. What do you mean music with JavaScript? You don't even know. Alright, check it out. There's a thing called strudel, where you write code that makes music. So here are some examples of stuff I've made off stream. It doesn't have to be this instrument. I just chose these specific instruments because I'm making chiptune music, and I was like, I would like this sound as similar to chiptune music as possible. So you call functions, and then they have these patterns, and then you can call things that change the patterns, right? So you have a chord progression, 1 5 6 3 4 1 4 5. You subtract 1 because it's 0 index. And I like writing things 1 index. And then this is like an offset from this note. And then once you have this, you just set the scale to D major. You could change it. You could be like C major. Right, and now it sounds different. We can make it F major. It sounds like this. You could make it piano. It sounds like this. You could make it GM violin. And now it sounds like a violin. You could change it. They have various instruments. You could change it perhaps to an ensemble. The GM string ensemble. I spelled it wrong. Oh, there's a 1. There's an _1. Whoa. Anyway, that is one possible usage. And then the other things, I've transposed Little Root Town theme. Let's restart. Start over. Oh my god, look, we got all the notes. We got the classic song that everyone knows. We have all the chords that I copied from a website. It sounds a bit off because I probably transposed it wrong. Little Root Town chords. Right, we got this one. This one. Which one was it? What was the website called? Hook Theory? This one. I kind of just copied the chords from these. I might not have done it correctly, but... And then these are the notes. You're like, why are these notes numbers? Why are they numbers instead of like A, B, C? You can perform math. You can set the scale. If you don't make it quite right, won't you make it a transposer? Possibly. You're possibly right. And then we have this. An attempt to make some kind of melody. You could also change sliders. You can make it louder. Make it louder. You can mute it. You could change. You could have this. You could define helper functions. I can't talk. Helper functions. Define your chords. The notes that you want. You could define your progression. You comment stuff out. Like, let's say you wanted to change it, right? You could simply not use Pachelbel's progression. You could use the circle of fifths. And now it sounds different. And then you could make it a minor chord if you wanted. Now it sounds evil. Evil sounding music. You can make it F. You can make it an octave above. A lot of things you could do. This is an example that I didn't make, but it was from somewhere else. And then this. This is an example of a melody using various instruments. It's got bass drum, snare drum, hi-hat. You have a melody that's based on the underlying chords. You can change all these values around. And you can define, like, you know, when the bass drum should hit. So you'll note if I did this, and I did like X times 2, if I mute all these, right? You'll have the snare drum. You'll note it plays 2 times. You can make it play 4 times. It sounds a bit weird when it plays 4 times, but you can make it do whatever you want. Right, and then you have this. You can layer your chords. I could probably lower the volume of some of these. Bass drum. Set the gain. Maybe way lower. No, it's the bass drum is too loud. Gain 0.3. Ah, there it is. There you go. Look at this. We defined our chord progression. Right here we have our instruments, our chord definitions, and then you just tell it which notes from the chord to use. You can layer things, so you have like, you're playing the first note of the chord, the first, second, the fourth one, and then the second one, third one. Change the instrument. And then, you know, you could have this thing that shows you what it looks like. You have all the layers here. Instruments. Anyway, so what am I doing today? Today, I guess maybe I'll try to compose some music from scratch. From the very beginning, because you look at this and like, what's going on, right? We have all these functions. What is this? I don't even get it. So we're gonna make a new one, and then you could watch from the very beginning. I also forgot to tweet that I'm going live, and by tweet, I mean go on Blue Sky. There's a thing where you can say you're going live. I forgot to do that, but I'm going to do that right now. And I say I'm going to be live for 3 hours. 3 hours, go live. Alright, well anyway, here's how this works. Okay, we're going to have title, example, by Walter. Okay, so now when I save this, you'll note it gets saved. It gets saved right there. Welcome Foley. Okay, so the way that strudel works is you have notes. Okay, the basic way to do it, you just have a note function, and then you pass it notes that you want to play. Let's say you want to play like C, right? C, D, E, F, G. You save that, and it just starts playing, right? It starts playing, but you're like, Wolfie, how do I control the rate that it plays at? There's a thing where you can set the cycles per minute. A cycle is similar to beats per minute, except a cycle is specifically 1 bar of music. So there's set CPM, cycles per minute. If you wanted this to be like 107 BPM, you would divide by 4, because if we're going to be in 4/4 time, you'll notify, like, increase this plays faster, right? So these are your basic notes. You can also play sounds. So let's say you comment this out. Welcome, Nutritious. Let's say you want like a drum beat, right? You can have a hi-hat. Okay, this. Sounds, sound. There it is. There's your hi-hat. It plays once per cycle, but then if you play, you can add more. Okay, you could have 4 of them. There's 4 hi-hats. I think you can do this. I don't really know the difference between this and multiply. But you know, you could have an open hi-hat. Right, so it's got that. You can do other instruments that you can see here in the sounds, drum machines. We call it OH. Something OH right there. But you can't play 40? You sure can. You sure can play 40, but it'll sound really bad. It's like a jackhammer. Anyway, we can look up some basic drum beats, right, and try to copy that. Drum patterns. Interesting drum patterns. 15 common. What was that one website that I used some streams ago? Is it this one? I think it was this one. Basic rock beat. Right, you got funk and groove. Basic EDM beat. What kind of song do I want to make today? Jazz, swing, reggae beat, blues. Let's do a blues shuffle. All right, so the way you would do this, looks like they have a hi-hat every other. So assuming this is like 16, right? They have 16 of them. It's every 2. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have hi-hat. So we have hi-hat. So since it plays it plays what? It plays 8 times. So 8 per bar, right? And then you could also stack them, right? You could stack sounds. So you can have this playing, and then you could have another thing playing at a different rate. Let's say you have snare, right? Snare plays well, it's quite strange. It delays, it doesn't play on the first one, and then it plays on some other ones. So I have to think about how to represent this specifically. Now there's a way to do it using a strut. So snare drum, SD, right? SD's got them. You can do strut, right? You can simply copy the pattern here, right? You could do like, if you do like this, it's a rest. And then if you do an X, you can play it. If you just see what this sounds like right now, it'll play this, and then it'll play this. It'll rest and then play this. But we actually want it to rest and then rest twice. Right? So it'll sound like this. We can also visualize it using a, what's it called? Punch card. So you can visualize what it looks like. Here we can do labels. So see the name. So snare drum, hi-hat. But you'll note the snare drum's kind of slow, right? You're like, hey, what the? It only plays once per beat. While it's here, we have it play 5 times. It plays 5 times. So what you can do, actually no, it doesn't. I have it wrong. It actually is like this. It's like this. It stops one, it rests, and then it goes, and then it rests, and then that's what repeats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you could simply just copy this and just like paste it several times, right? But with strudel, you can do the entire thing to a pattern. So you could do this. You could do like play that 5 times. Right, so that's there. You could also call a function fast. You play this 5 times, which is the same thing. And then what? And then it's kind of loud, so maybe I'll lower the volume slightly, so it's not really annoying. I then got a kick drum. A kick drum plays... What does it mean when it's like this? Does anyone... We talked about this last time. What is the the lighter... It means it plays it at a lower volume? Is that what it is? I don't know. Okay, and then do they have a kick drum? A kick drum, probably KD, right? Kick. Bass drum, is it BD? Bass drum. Does anyone know music? What is a kick drum similar to a bass drum? Is it just called kick? Kick. Drum machines. Maybe I have to look it up. Strudel, kick drum. Kick drum. 5 kick drum samples. Strudels. Bass drum. I'm going to assume BD for bass drum is the kick drum. Right, so then here we play on the first one, and then this one's quieter. I think there's a way to say that you want it to play quieter. I don't know how to do that yet. But okay, so we start off on the first one, and then we skip 2. And then what? And then we just go several times. Now, as I mentioned, there's a way to do this better, but since I don't know what I'm doing, I'm just gonna do it this way. So you got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the last one plays at the end. So this sounds like this. Is this really what a blues shuffle sounds like? It sounds kind of bad. Surely I did something wrong. Well, maybe this is wrong. Maybe the snare drum is wrong. Oh right, okay. So it doesn't play at the end of this one. So that's what I was missing out on. You actually have to play it differently. It's got 2 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have this here, and then it doesn't play at the end. And actually, it has 2 rests at the end. Wait, that's a blues shuffle? Is this what it sounds like? Hold on, I could also just play it. Here, what is this one? It sounds like this. Okay, it sounds similar, right? It sounds similar, but I think the drum that I'm using is not the right one. Which confuses me. It confuses me. What if we did a different one? Maybe Blue Shuffle is not the best one. For me, specifically. What about Jazz Swing? Welcome XS. Well done. I don't think it's well done. I don't think it's particularly good. Okay, classic hip-hop beat. Basic EDM. Rock beat. There's like 4 on the floor. Where is 4 on the floor? 4 on the floor, kick drum, steady dance rhythm. Okay, let's do basic EDM beat. Hi-hat. They played the hi-hat every single one. I don't get, what does this mean? What does it mean when this is like grayed out? They're just playing the hi-hat at very low volume? Maybe that's what it is. So they play it 16 times, and then snare drum, 4. Okay, here's what we're gonna go like this. 4 rests, and then they play it once, and then they have 7. I guess maybe I'll start with this one. We have kick drum. like this. All right, you could do it this way, and then fast 4, and then this one. I guess you could also just do this, right? You could also simply do this. Comment this out. Okay, that sounds fine. And then, okay, so for snare drum specifically, now there's something you could do here as well with patterns. You'll note that the snare drum doesn't play, and then it plays, and then it doesn't play, and then it plays. So in strudel, you can use a thing that's like angle brackets, which means it can change every single time it happens. So let's do snare drum, and then you can tell it to play. Let's see, how do I do this? You could say snare drum or rest. So you start off resting, and then you do a snare drum, and then you repeat this twice. Unexpected toke, I forgot a comma. I think I did that wrong. Turns out I don't know what I'm doing. How do I do this? Maybe it's like this. Maybe... Is that it? Yeah, okay, so this is it. Okay, so we have the hi-hat that's playing like this, and then the snare drum plays every other kick drum, similar to how you see it here. So you'll see here, it does this. And that's how you have a basic EDM beat. Now I think the hi-hat needs to be a bit slower, or not slower, but like less loud. You can do gain, you can set the volume to be a bit lower, so maybe 0.5. You'll note it also graves it. I don't know why this one's like lighter. Maybe this could be 0.3. Alright, so now we have drum groove. You can also label things. You could call this percussion. It's there. And then we can work on a melody of some kind. Now, how do you make a melody? Well, you gotta have your chords. What's a classic chord progression? Good question. You have the chord progression. And let's do a classic, what's it called? 1-5-6-4, is that what it's called? 1-5-6-4 chord progression. Is this it? Is this the one? Okay, so let's say we're in the key of C major. This would be, 1 would be C, and then 5 would be G, and then what? And then 6 would be A, and then 4 would be, you'd think I would know this by now, C, D, E, F, that's F. Right, so you have your chord progression, and then what do you do with the chord progression? There's a function. You could simply just play the notes as well. You know, let's just, since we're going over the basics, as if anyone's paying attention, we're gonna play the chord progression, and then you could, let's do melody, chord progression. It doesn't play. It's not playing because we have not assigned it to a note. You set it to note, and then you can also do punch card. Wow, look, there it is. For some reason, I think it doesn't expect your window to be this small. What happened to the rest of my code? It's gone. Excuse me, I believe I've discovered a bug in the editor. I can no longer go to my code below somehow. What if I reloaded the page? And then you could change the instrument. Let's set this to super saw. There's a thing called a super saw. You can make it go like really fast. Welcome, JD. We got the 1-5. It's called 1-5-6-4. Let's just use a regular song. No, a super song. Okay, and then, now that we have our chords, you could choose to perhaps, it's a chord function, welcome Namington as well. So we have chord, you can choose to voice a chord, like this. You can call this chord. You'll notice they call it as a function here, but they've also defined it as a function you can call it a string, or I guess a method. And they do voicing. I think I've done it wrong, because this has to be uppercase. You must also set an instrument. Let's make this a piano. Oh, it's not working for some reason. Oh, because I've deleted it, so it actually should not be note. Oh, there it is. So good old chord progression. You could also make it a major. You can make it minor chords. C minor right there. And then what? Then what do we do with our chord progression? Good question. Good question. That is what we have to decide. And then apparently you can use there's a function called layer, which allows you to take the chord progression and not play it as it is, but you can like apply multiple effects on top of the chord progression. So let's say you wanted to do like, you got a current pattern, which is our chord progression, and there's a way to choose notes from your chord by doing n. Like you could do n, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then you can set pattern. I think this plays it. So it plays 4 times. I think I've chosen it wrong. How does this work specifically? We're going to read up on the reference. Chord voicings. There's a way to use n to choose the note. And where is it? Mode n. Chord. Okay, you call n and then you call chord, then you call voicing. So you actually, instead you do this. But I think I've done it wrong, because obviously nothing is happening. Oh, right, you gotta do, this should be pattern.chord. Wow. Okay, then you could make it fast. You could simply do this and have it play twice. You could also then maybe have it go back. You could have it play something like this. You could have it jump up maybe. Many things to consider. Welcome, Probs Not Jack. Let's make it a super song. Okay. You could also do things like reverse it. So if we did this, and we wanted to reverse it, you can simply call rev, and then it goes backwards. That sounds kind of nice. Right, so you know, it highlights which chord you're on, and then which sequence it's executing in that chord. So when the chord changes, this thing, which depends on the chord, is also changing, which is pretty cool. You could have it be C5, which will change the chord to be a 5 chord. You could make it C7. A lot of things you could do. And that is simply a demonstration. And then, like, what else do I do? That's the question. So this could be maybe the backing track. Maybe this is not the melody, but rather a, what do we call it? Accompaniment, perhaps the counter melody, some other musical thing. Now you could also just like not call layer. The reason you might want to call layer is that you could, maybe you just want to play the chords regularly, right? You could simply do, maybe you want the supersaw to be defined on this pattern, but then maybe this one you want a piano. So now you have both. Look at that. Your chord progression has both. It's got a arpeggio in reverse, and then it also has a piano. You could also make the chord lower. How do you do that exactly? Good question. Good question. There is some way to do it. You can set the root. Is it room? What's it called? It's called the anchor. You can set the anchor to make it lower. So the anchor is the highest note that it will play in the chord. So let's say this is like too high, right? You want to set the anchor to be maybe like C3. Or maybe you have to set it before. Okay, if to set it before, you call voicing. Oh, see, look at that. Now it's lower. It sounds kind of bad this low, but what if you did like what's that instrument called? The string ensemble. Did I said it wrong? Is that not the name of it? GM. Oh, it's GM. Good morning. Okay, that sounds quite bad because there's too many things playing. But what if it was higher up? Oh, yes. Whoa! Okay, there's our music. And then you could also... What else could you do? You could do many things. How do I make this a more interesting thing? Well, here we're doing 0, 1, 2, 3. But what if you use these divisions, it'll subdivide it. So the way that these cycles work is that every cycle plays through this, and so these will all be evenly spaced. At the moment, these will be quarter notes, although I guess since we're multiplying by 2, it'll be eighth notes. But you could, if you did this, it would subdivide it, so instead of being an eighth note, this would now be 16th notes. And look at that, now what to do in that stuff. And then you could also, you can nest these arbitrarily. So let's say like one cycle you want it to be this, the other cycle you just want it to play a 2. You'll note every other cycle it goes to this one, and then it plays this one. And then you could, you could change this, you could add more stuff to it. This could maybe go up to 4. What are some other cool sounding instruments? Harmonica. Shamisen you can play. I typed in ham by accident. His hand flow was here. Broken hand flow. What if this was a shamisen? It's kind of hard to hear. Harmonica. GM harmonica. Oh yeah, look at that. You could also change these, actually. Like every other one, it could be like, it could start off as a shamisen, then you could have it do GM string ensemble 1. And then it'll go to shamisen. We probably don't want that. It's quite an unusual combination. Now what if we had some bass notes? You could do pattern, root note. There's a way to do root notes. Root notes, reference, root notes. Where do I put things? Like, no matter where I am, I'm blocking something. Alright, so you can choose your chords and then call root notes. So since this is the C chord, it'll return the C note. So we can do pattern dot root notes, and then you choose the octave. This could be a lower octave. Welcome Old Man Diabetes. Warrior Beaver, he doesn't even know. Guys, you had to be here at the very beginning. Alright, then you set note. And you maybe want to set an instrument. Sound. What do we play? Maybe this one will be a... It's like a bass, right? Bass? Acoustic bass, maybe? GM acoustic bass. I don't know what the GM stands for. Let me just check if this works. Yes, look at that. And then there's a cool thing you could do. Instead of like typing out these patterns, you could have it generate rhythms for you. So if you do like what's it called, Euclid, you can tell it how many, it'll try to distribute the notes in a rhythm for you. Let's say you want like 3 notes every 4. You could have it do like, play me 6 notes every 8. Whoa. Wonder how hard it would be to arrange an existing piece on this program like you did for Little Root. I feel like it'd be pretty simple. Various people have done it. I did it for Little Root Town. C note, you can't see music notes, you hear them. Did I say they were music notes though? What if it was notes as in like you write it down, you know? You take in notes. You can read those notes. Or you could say like put 6 notes in 16 subdivisions. Now you have this weird syncopation thing going on. Isn't that cool? And then you're like, what if I want to like extend it? Right? What's it called? Euclid legato. Legato is when you extend the note so that it blends into the next one. Legato, isn't that the Stream Deck software? So now you'll note the difference. It holds the note until the next note. Note the difference between this and this. Legato of Legends. Legato, isn't that the French cat? French, Spanish cat? French people who speak Spanish be like legato? You have to understand multiple languages to get that one. Alright, so now we have this. We have our bass. We have our... this. Wow. God, ain't that ice cream? I don't even understand. I don't get it. Alright, we have our string ensemble. Let's make this one lower. 0.7. We could make this... oh, gelato. Sawtooth. That sounds fine. Okay, what if this one was a pulse wave? And then this could be pulse wave, but with a different pulse width modulation. I think by default it's like 50% wave. We can have this one be like a 25% wave. Oh, you can also, instead of commenting on that, you can also do hush. This will tell it to shut up. Why would we do that? The synthier sound gives Nubby's OST. These are the sounds used on retro hardware. Game Boy and others. Wow. Now you could also, instead of like defining them like this, if you want to like define instruments, I did this in some other places. I defined my instruments up here, so I don't need to like manually change all these. So let's say like our bass is gonna be sound pulse width, and then our melody is a sawtooth. And what is this thing? What instrument? I don't even know. Our chords. The thing that's playing the chords. Right, and then instead of defining these here, you could simply do set instrument dot melody, and then here set instrument chords. Same thing for this. Instrument mix. This should be the same thing. Yes. Then what do I want to do? Maybe for some reason, I don't know, this website is broken. It appears that the bottom doesn't work anymore. If I comment this out. Okay, once I comment this out, I can see my percussion. Now you might also want to change your percussion instruments. Maybe instead of having the bass hi-hat, you want to define your own hi-hat. You can define it based on white noise. So you can have white noise, you can set the what's it called, the decay. As we all know, what a hi-hat has is basically white noise with basically 0 attack and fast decay. So instead of doing this sound, you could do instrument sound. Okay, this one. How do I do this? How do we define this? You could set the pattern and then set the instrument. If we comment out all the other percussion, we can hear this is what the hi-hat sounds like. Oh, look at that. And you can adjust various parameters. You could also make this a slider. You could set like the default value, the minimum, the maximum, and you could change it. But I'm just going to use my hard-coded value. And then what is this? Is the snare drum. Got the bass drum. These are fine. Anyway, that was just an example of how you could set the hi-hat if you want. Oh wait, I'm not actually using my define. No, I am. Hold on. I'm actually setting the decay on this hi-hat sample. Instead of doing that, I will instead do... I'm gonna have to check how I did it in the other patterns. This one. I set the hi-hat as a struct. I guess I could just do it. I could just do it this way. Back to this example. Whoops. Oh, I didn't even copy. I didn't even copy it correctly. Go back to this one. Oh, it actually sounds quite different. It actually doesn't sound as good. You know this weird rhythm that I have going on here? It's like every other time it plays twice here and then it plays once here. I could try to do the same thing here. Instead of playing 16. What have I done? We're switching between examples. Okay, so instead of using my custom hi-hat instrument, I'll just go back to what it was. It's hi-hat, and we set the gain to be lower. You could also change the gain, so maybe like every other one you want it to be loud. You could do like something like maybe every other one it's like 1 loudness. You could do it like this. There's probably some way to do it like every cycle. Actually, I think maybe that's what the colon syntax is for. So you could do like 1 and then 0.4. Let's see what that sounds like. No. I think you need to multiply. I always forget. Oh yes, okay, you use multiply. I don't really know the difference between exclamation mark and multiply. We can check. Let's see what it says. This is called mini notation. Mini notation where you're defining these patterns in strings. So we look at the exclamation mark. What is the exclamation mark? You can repeat without speeding up. So I guess multiply speeds up, whereas the other one does not speed up. Interesting. Yeah, look at this. This one is louder, and then it's softer. Anyway, let's change our chord progression. This one's getting a bit boring. What is an interesting... Someone mentioned a chord progression the other day, and I forgot to look it up. I was like, what are some interesting chord progressions that are not, like, so short? Because, like, I like the Pachelbel progression, because, like, it's pretty long and it sounds nice on its own. I could just copy it from, from here. From this one. Let's see what that sounds like with different chord progression. This one sounds like this. You can also remove some of this stuff. You can make this one a piano. It's gonna be a sawtooth wave. What about a triangle wave? The bass could be a triangle wave. I don't know if I can hear the bass. It's kind of low. There. It's literally right there. Alright, what if we did popular chord progressions? $15 common Guitar chord progressions with charts. Easy chord progressions for beginners. Chord progression tier list, perhaps. You know, I totally missed Handflow's joke. French people, when they made someone fall for a decent, just like on him. That was like 10 minutes ago. I somehow did not even see that. Unbelievable. Streamers not even reading messages ever since he started making music. Okay, here's a long chord progression. What is this? This is this is just the Pachelbel progression. I already have that one. It's literally the one I'm using right now. Okay, what about a different one? 10 most common chord progressions of all time. 12, oh yeah, 12 bar blues. Okay, I did want to try making a 12 bar blues. So for people not familiar with 12 bar blues, it sounds basically, everyone's gonna recognize this. Okay, it's kind of low, but like, isn't this such a familiar thing? You hear this everywhere. Basically, it plays this for 4 bars, then it plays this for 2 bars, and this. They can also change it, right? It could be shuffle blues. It's right there, this one. Let me try to make something like this. What if we tried to make something like this? Oh, shoot. So loud. It's so loud. Alright, so our chord progression is going to be 12 bar blues. So let's just do this in the key of C. We could do this one. We could do, okay, so the chord progression is going to be C, and then the fourth of C is C, D, E, F, C, F, C, C, but C7 specifically. C7, C7. It's actually C7. And then after that, it goes back to F, and then F7, and then C, and then C7. So put that there. And then what? Then we have 5. 5 is G. So we got G, F, C, and then the 5th, which is G, G7. Okay. Let's see what that sounds like. It's probably not going to sound like blues like at all. But that's because our pattern is different. What does it just sound like with the chords only? Yeah, this kind of sounds like it's kind of low. You can kind of hear it. It's got the same chords. Okay, but then instead of doing this thing, you gotta do a pattern that's like do 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 do. So how do you do that? Good question. Good question. I'm gonna make a new pattern. Okay, a new pattern. So the way that this goes, the way that this thing works, is that you actually have something from the root notes. So pattern in the 5th octave. Let's just see what this sounds like. Instrument. What instrument? This is a sawtooth. Okay, so we're gonna set this to also be a piano. What about harmonica? GM harmonica? Yes. Okay. So root notes, and then you wanna, let's say, what do you wanna do with the root notes? You wanna add a pattern on top of it. So let's say you did something such as 0, 2, 4. What does that sound like? To figure out a way to make it go fast. Because right now it's doing this, and then it's adding onto it. I think actually you want to do, you actually want it to be this instead. You start off here, and then you want to add the root notes after it. So you want to do 0, 2, 4. That sounds bad. Why does it sound bad? This is not what it's supposed to sound like. Yeah. Okay, so I want to see what it looks like on the punch card. You could also make the width of it, or height, taller, so you can actually see what you're looking at. Okay, we got this. Pattern root notes, 5th octave. Oh, also Twitch is about to show ads, so I guess I'm gonna drink some water. You get to listen to this. Let's change this back to pulse and sawtooth. It sounds quite nice. Alright, I'm done. Hydrated. Bonk's not ready yet. Twitch, okay, so apparently my Twitch token on VTube Studio is broken. It has refreshed. It has not refreshed. I'm gonna have to reconnect my account. Unbelievable. Look at this. VTube Studio wants access to your account. Authorizing will allow VTube Studio to read your channel's hype train data, get a list of all subscribers on their channel, get details of a channel's predictions, manage channel predictions, view channel points, view your email address. Denshi, why would I do this? Why would it be reading all of this info? Unbelievable. Alright, log in and activate. Chat client connected. Okay, it has been connected. Yeah, what is Denshi doing with all this data? Can't believe it. Alright, it should be working now. Okay, anyway, going back to this. The melody is gonna be piano. Alright, what is this sound? What are we really adding up here? Piano. We're adding piano. Let's see, add, I think it's gotta be .note. Oh, there it is. Okay, so so it should actually be it should be that, right? So to do that, I wish it would show you like what note it's playing. It's showing the MIDI note, but not actually like the letter note. Okay, so it's like this is presumably. Let's take a look at a piano. Piano keys. Okay, so we want to go from this to E to G. So to do that is 1, 2, 3, 4. You actually skip 4, and then you skip 1, 2, 3. You got 0, 4, 3, right? And then after that, then you skip 2, and then 1. So this will be 8, and then 9. Maybe that, oh, it shouldn't be 3. I should be adding 3. It's actually 7. And then from 7, it's gotta be, oh no, I have to do math. I have to do math, guys. I have to do math. So you add 4 to all of it, and then you just repeat. Okay, that's how you do it. That's wrong. Let me redo this. So, okay. So they're all relative to the bass note, right? So it's like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. So 0, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10. 9 and 10. Ah, yes, okay. So it's got doon 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 doon. Doo doo. How does it go back? It goes back down 7, 4, 0. We don't have this one. Okay, so that's what it sounds like, right? Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay, we got our 12-bar blues. It feels a bit too smooth though. Isn't there usually like some syncopation going on? Alright, how do you do that? What is the, how does it work? How do people do things? I don't know. You could also make it so that the chords play like every other. So you can do struct X res. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, you do that, and then you could also repeat that. You could do fast 2. Although I think it also made the other thing fast. Did it also make the other thing fast? Why did this one seem faster now? Am I imagining things? I think I'm just imagining things. Right, how do people make this swingy? You could do 4, 7, and then 9, 10. That's not how it sounds. You could also, okay, this is a thing that I've not shown, is that you can actually assign a weight to notes. So like every one of these I think is default weighted 1. If you want to make something like last longer, you can do like 1.5, and then this one could be 0.5. right? Then you have like some syncopation in there. No, that's not actually what I want. I think this one should be 1.5, maybe this one's 0.5. No, there's gotta be something. There's gotta be something to this. I don't know. How do they do it? How do people do it? I don't know. You could also make it, okay, you could also make this go like, instead of C5, it could be, you can go up to C6, the next one. Or maybe C4. There's options, there's various options that you can do. C5, C4. What if I made this faster? That's too fast. That is simply too fast. Right, what if we read up on 12-bar blues? Melodic line. Melodic line might be the melody of the piece. It might include lyrics. Melody and lyrics frequently follow AAB form, meaning one phrase is repeated. 12-bar blues. What is this thing called? Does anyone know the name for this thing? Is it a lick? Is it called a lick? 12-bar. 12bar.de. German? They got 12-bar blues in Germany? Pentatonic pattern. What does this sound like? And you can't really hear this very well, but it's there. Typical blues opening, step by step. No, this is freaking guitars. I need piano notation. What if I just make something up? How do people make things up? How do people even make things up? Okay, what if instead of this, we did x times 1, 2. And then you have that. And then what if you did this? Before we did that. Okay, this is not the melody. This is actually, what is this called? This is the something. Did I welcome Defins? Welcome. This is going to be backing track. I don't know. Backing. What if this one used harmonica? What if this one used supersaw? And instead of being in 5, it was down at 3. And okay, then the main melody comes in, uses sawtooth. Oh shoot. Look at that. This could be an octave higher. Pattern chord. How do I change the chord? I gotta set the roots, right? I gotta do anchor. Anchor C6. C6 is not the, oh, it needs to be in quotes. Yes. Alright, we got a lot of stuff going on here. We got drums, we got this thing, we got the percussion. Welcome Lunatic Lurker, what's this? We're making music in JavaScript. What are some other instruments? A banjo? GM banjo? Oh yeah. Blown bottle? GM blown bottle? Oh shoot. Alright, and then instead of pulse, what if it was, what are some classic, okay, what about chords? Bass could be played by harmonica. Banjo, Joe knows what he did, or she. Or they. A sitar, slap bass. Slap bass, what did bass even do? Taiko drum, wood block. Wood block, yeah, Linux people, what's the joke? E underscore wood block. I'm trying to make a joke. E wood block. E wood block. This is a joke about Linux signals or whatever. Is this calls wood block? I don't know. Okay, wood block. GM wood block. What about xylophone? No. Go back to what we had earlier. Like this. Alright, what else can you add to this? What do people add to music to make it interesting? What are people even doing, man? Bass drum. Any other percussion that people usually have? Drum patterns. We could add some open hi-hats. So open hi-hat can play like 0 times or 1 time. Maybe it could play twice. Or what if this one played in a Euclidean rhythm? What if this one, okay, this one could be Euclid 3, 8. Yeah, that's something, right? Open hi-hat, O. Shorter. Isn't there like a shaker? Shake. Drum machine shaker. Maracas. Is that not a thing? Isn't that a thing that exists? Maybe it's in synths. Shakuhachi? What is that? It's a flute. Classic Japanese flute. Samples. A go-go? Anvil? What if we just had an anvil? What is an anvil? I can barely hear it. What about a... Oh, shaker! Shaker is here. Shaker... large. I'd like to hear the shaker on its own. Oh, I hear it. It's very subtle, but I hear it. There it is. What about shaker small? Does that not exist? Shaker. I cannot hear it. Okay, I guess we're doing shaker large. Cool. Shaker, what was that? Shaker. Rattle. Rattle. Quavisynth, isn't that the VTuber who rebranded? Quave? Where's Num? Whoa, what? Oh, you could have them say numbers. You could literally... Welcome to my... Hold on, we can just have them say numbers. Ready to N. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then sound numbers. I don't like that. That's too weird. It's like weird ASMR. I hate that. Numbers. Ocarina. Nettle. Insect? Wait, what is insect? What is insect? I'd like to mute everything, please. I would like to mute everything. What is insect? I hear it. That's like a cricket. Oh, shoot. Interesting. Interesting. What if we had, what is jazz? Interesting. Kawaii. East. Sounds like a guerra. I don't even know what that is. What about a pipe organ quiet. Piano. We got the quabe. Oh, yes. Anvil. Yo, Minecraft. East. Wait, I just did that one. Balatro. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of that stuff. Back to the music. Balatro. Alright, this isn't really melody. I don't know what I call this. Music. I'm just gonna call it music. Now that we have this, we could add like a real melody. What if we had like a real song? Like you're like, if this is not real music, if this is not real music, what is this? You can make this a bit longer. So like, you could extract this out here. Alright, this should be the same. But then what? Then instead of, you could like change this up. What if this is now like, you go from 3 to 2, Welcome, Liquid Cake. Reminds me of the music from a Syriac video. I don't know what that is. Isn't that the guy whose nose was huge and he cried because it was huge? From Bergerac. Very obscure reference. Okay, 3, 2. What if this was 3, 2, 4, 1, 0, 5. Now he's the one saying numbers. That was a reference to Cyrano de Bergerac, by the way. There's a man who is so ugly that he died. He made the sheep and sheep and sheep videos and such with lots of surreal spray animations. Syriac. Ah, yes, these. Ah, yes, I remember these. Classic from back in the day. It's like AI hallucinations before AI was a thing. And if it was good. Okay, we can do, what if it was like... You can also use underscore to hold notes, so it could be like 3, 2... 1, 2... And back to 1... Oh, but I forgot I had reverse in here. Okay, it could be... I want this to be reversed normally, so we'll do 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 0. And then we'll do this. That sounds alright. And you can just add more stuff. You're like, well, this all sounds the same. Literally all sounds the same. Welcome, next tag. Does music really have soul if it just sounds the same? 1, 3, 2, 0, 1. I'm just typing in numbers now, right? You could have a rest in there. What if we let the machine rest? What if you threw in one of these? 2, 1. You had another thing in here. It's like 3, like 0. You could even go negative. -1, 0, 3, 2. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, the underscore, and then you got the 2 and the 0. What about this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, the -1 sounds weird. Just have regular 1. And then what? What else can I do? What else do I add to this? Or is this it? Is this the extent of music? Is this all music is? Just typing in numbers? What if we went back to Pachelbel's chord progression? What does that sound like? Oh, shoot. Okay, this part does not make sense here. This sounds alright. This sounds like something. Okay, what if we did the axis progression? What does this one sound like? sounds quite similar. A lot of music just sounds very similar. Okay, back to this. Alright, what other music can I make? What's another thing? Enough of this stuff. Trying to think, what else can I do with this? Let's start over. Let's make a new pattern. This one, call this 12 bar blues. Can this go in a Game Boy? No. I would have to transpose all the notes myself. And also this is using way more channels than the Game Boy has access to. What if I made some splitter core or extra tone? I don't know what that is. What is extra tone? What if I made some lo-fi stream beats, royalty-free music to listen to? World's fastest music genre? 1000 BPM? That sounds awful. That sounds really bad. How to make, what if we just watch how to make lo-fi BGM, and then we just, how to make lo-fi BGM. I guess music, not just BGM, music. Noob, guide to making lo-fi, noob, you, that's me, right there, that's me, the noob. Beginner's guide to creating lo-fi beats. What? Just give me the notes. What is this? I need some specific, like, here are some chords to use or something. Digital technology. Okay, here's, you choose your drums. What software do I need? Anything. 5 key elements. Okay, chill drums. Don't worry about making your beat too complex. Well, what are these? Okay, start with a classic hip-hop beat pattern. Your kick should be hitting somewhere around the first and third beats of a bar. Your snare on the second or fourth, then add hi-hat hitting more regularly on eighth notes. Don't worry about making the beat too complex. Lo-fi is about creating a chill atmosphere. Soulful instrumentation. Yes, chord progression. Of course. You found a smooth, simple keys sound using lo-fi glow, a play series instrument. What? Jazz extensions. I know jazz music. I've been watching so many jazz tutorials. What if I made a jazz song? No, that requires 251 modulation. It's too complex for me. Here, lo-fi beat. How to make from scratch. Okay, let's go. Here's some actual actionable advice. New. Okay, new. We're gonna start over. Title, lo-fi by Walter. Oh no, it's quiet now. Okay, so we're gonna have BPM 75. I'm gonna play some other music while I'm making this. Whoa, how has he already made the BGM? Are you listening to this? He has no code written, and yet we are listening to lo-fi BGM right now. Alright, try 75 BPM in A minor. Alright, let's go. Throw in flat 7. Sure. Set CPM. What did they say? 75? 75 BPM. 4 bars per measure. Start simple. Use easy progressions like this or that to build around. Okay, let's use this. It's chord progression. Delete that stuff. Throw in some 7s. Maybe some some 9 flat 5 or whatever. Chords. How do we look it up? Jazz chords. Flat 5. -7 flat 5. Sure, put that in there. G7 flat 5. Alright, then we just do chord progression dot chord, and then voicing. There we go. And then what instrument? What instrument? Think about the mood you want to create for his dreamy, emotional, lo-fi jazz. Build your chords and melody. Lo-fi beats thrive on soulful chords, relaxed, expressive melodies. This is where you set the emotional tone. Use warm, nostalgic instruments. Rhodes keyboards. Do they have Rhodes keyboards? Okay, they don't specifically have Rhodes keyboards. Jazz guitar. Okay. GM electric guitar jazz. Okay, voice sound. GM electric guitar jazz. Oh shoot. Soft pianos, ambient synths, simple melody. Do we have other jazz? What if I just search up jazz? That's the only one? They only have one jazz? I guess it would be like piano, right? Soft piano? Is there specifically piano soft? GME piano 1? What is GME piano 1? Is that lo-fi? Is this lo-fi enough? This is like kind of lo-fi, right? I think room makes it echo a bit more. Whoa! Okay, that's lo-fi, right? That's extremely lo-fi. Okay, but what if it was like F, and then you did F sus? Is that a thing? Suspended chord? No, you gotta go from suspended chord into the regular, right? Maybe sus F. What are some other jazz chords you can do? You could do a 7 flat 9 sharp 11. You could throw in one of these. Easy. F7 flat 9 sharp 11. Add some drums. Okay, how do we have program drums with groove? I'm program. Wait, this sounds bad. This flat 9 sharp 11 sounds bad. What about a 9 flat 5? F9 flat 5. That sounds bad. What the heck? What about F9? What about 9 sus? Alright, drums. Use quality drum kits. Okay, but like, what's the pattern? Think dusty snares, loose hi-hats, mellow, sub-heavy kicks. Create a groove that feels relaxed and human. Sound like the A chord is the ending. This is the end, but why would they? But they told me to put it at the beginning. No, this is, yeah, this is 1. This is 1 A minor. We are in A minor, so A minor chord. F, C, G. I wish they would use Roman numerals. Like, what is this? This is 1, A, B, C, D, E. That's 6, 6, 3, 7. That's a 7? Wait. A, B, C, D, E, F, 7. That's a 7. That's a freaking diminished chord. Is that a diminished chord? Can't believe this, man. Okay, drums. So we have chords, percussion. How to make hip-hop percussion. Percussion, sorry, not hip-hop. Percussion for lo-fi. It sounds like it's ending because it's going 7-1 at the end. 7... Yeah, no, but that's good, right? That's fine. Percussion for lo-fi. Lo-fi ambient percussion. How do I... Is there like a... I just want like the pattern. Percussion pattern. For lo-fi. Mastering lo-fi drum patterns. Oh my god, what is this freaking website? Sequence unique lo-fi drum patterns. Okay, here we go. Basic boom bap hip hop beat. Halftime hip hop beat. Drunken beat or the Dilla feel. I don't know what that means. Bossa, yeah, let's go for Bossa Nova. Okay. Bossa Nova pattern consists of kick on beats 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay. So we're stacking up. We got sound. Alright, so we have kick on beat 1, 2, and. Okay, so 1 kick drum. Is kick drum the same as bass drum? Or is that different? I don't think this thing has kick. Does it have kick drum? Kick drum, KD. Drum machines. Does anyone know drums? Are any of these kick drums? Korg. KD. Roland? That's a well-known thing, right? Roland? Which one of these is a kick drum? Snare drum? Is that a kick? Would you classify this as a kick? BD. It's probably fine, right? Okay. So we got kick on beats 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay, so it's like 1. Kick drum is the most bassy drum. Like, is this a very bassy drum? Alright, and then 2 and. So 2 and, it would be rest and BD. And the 3, rest, BD. Is this and? This is the and, right? Hold on, let me show the, what's that thing called? Punch card. Is correct. That would basically, I guess I should rather just do like struct. It's easier to visualize. So we have beat 1, and then you have this. Then you have, hold on, how do I do it? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the and. You want it to be there. So then you would want it to be bass drum here, have nothing, then bass drum, but actually it's nothing here, and then bass drum. It's on the 4 and, right? No, 3 and. Oh, I was misreading it. Oh no, this is this. Okay, so for the and would be here. So I guess these things are all this. Unexpected token. Whoops, what the heck is this? Library, downloaded files. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this would be the 1, this would be the 2, but this would be the 2 and. This would be 3. Did they want 1 on 3? Oh, there needs to be 1 on 3 as well. Hold on, I'm 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and. So it would be this, right? So it'd be like, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's gotta be a better way to do this, right? So it's like this. Like that. Okay, and then, okay, so we have that snare on beat 2. Snare drum is SD. SD's struct. So snare on beat 2. Welcome Eidolon and Endymion. Snare drum, so you got nothing, nothing, and then snare drum. Alright, I guess I could just copy this. This would just be X. Alright, so then, okay, this is a bit easier to read. And you have this. Okay. And then hi-hat or shaker playing 8th notes. Hi-hat playing 8th notes. It's like every 8th note, all of these. Okay, I mean, yeah, that's okay. And then clave playing on beat 1, 1A. Okay, you got 1 E and A, 1 A and E. They have a clave, right? Clave, struct. Alright, playing on beat 1, 1A, 1A, 2 and, 3 and 4. Okay. Quite a complex rhythm they got going on here. I literally made that joke. I can't believe this. People making the same joke as me. Only I can make jokes. Only the streamer is allowed to joke about things. I'm just kidding. Okay, so we want the clave playing on beats 1, 1, 1, 1. And then we also want it playing on the 1A. 1A and E. Was it E and A or E and or A and E? 1 E and Okay, so the A comes after the E. What are these images? Right, so the E, 1 E and A. Okay, so the A is like at the end. So we want 1 and then 1A. 1A. Fancy way of saying 1, 2, 3, 4. No, but that's like inside the thing. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4 would be this whole thing. So we have 1A, 1E and A, 2E and A, 3E and A, 4E and A. Alright, so they want it on the 1A, so it's got to be here, which specifically, so I think I have to like double these just to make sure that I have everything. Alright, so this is 1. They have this on the 1, and then they have it on the 1A, which will be there. And then on 2 and. So this is 2. This is the and. And then the 3 and. This is getting a bit hard to keep track of. I'm gonna have to add comments here. Actually, wait. You could do this to make it more obvious. You can break things up like this. Okay, so this one. 1. So this is 1 and then the 1 in. It's just basically just skipping 2. Okay, that would have been a bit more obvious. 3 and. So 3. The and would be here. Oh, but it's actually skipping 3 here. And then on 4, which is there. Alright, what does this sound like? Earthbound music? The clave is very subtle. I don't think it's doing anything. Hold on. Is this doing anything? Nothing. Is it like N0 sound clave? That's nothing. What is this? There's nothing here. Okay, what if it was what if it was what? I just closed the tab. It's not this. What if it was hi-hat? What is the closest instrument to a clave? Clave. I thought I tried clave before. Clave. Sound clave. Like it is showing that it's doing something. Maybe the gain is just too low. Oh, there it is. That's really low. Is it supposed to be that low? But now it's too loud. Okay. Alright, that's our percussion. And then what? Let's see, think about the mood, choose your chords, texture and ambience, arrange and finish the beat. Okay, well what about my melody? Clean up the low end, add character, bounce multiple formats, conclusion. What do I do with my melody? My melody, isn't that the Sanrio character? Alright guys, so true. Okay, build your melody. Create a simple melody, draw or play top line melody that talks to your chords, then call and response or subtle hummable phrases. Okay. Sure. Okay, so we have our chords. Melody. It's gonna be based on our chord progression. So chord progression dot what? Dot root notes 5 in octave 5. Is it root notes or root note? Root note. Notes plural. And then we're gonna do we're gonna have our melody here. It's gonna be this dot add chord progression notes. All right, this is where we add some things. Okay, let's start off with 0, 3, 4. What about 0, 4, 7? So what does this sound like? We gotta set the instrument. Sound. What are some classic like lo-fi instruments? If you think of lo-fi, analog strings, piano strings, piano strings, synth string, GM synth strings 1. That sounds bad. Piano. Okay. I think chords could be a bit lower. Welcome, Zuja. About 2. I guess we don't need to do the numbers. Since we know we're in A minor, we could get the notes on the A minor scale. A minor notes. Oh, it's just this. It's literally just the numbers. Okay. Right, of course. Why are we in a minor scale? Isn't lo-fi usually like upbeat? I guess not really, not always. Welcome, Wed. Alright, so, okay, let's just make a melody starting from, we just don't even need this. We don't even need this. Okay, so we start off at the tonic, A, and then we go up to E, and then go back down to D, B. Oh wait, it needs to be like this. Make this one less loud. Wait, isn't this the song from Kingdom Hearts? I accidentally made the tune game. Isn't this Kingdom Hearts? What is this? Is this the thing from Kingdom Hearts? It sounds exactly like something I recognize. Okay, interesting melody. Right now this is just quarter notes. We could perhaps make this in such a way. When you write the melody as A, E, D, B, is it still doing that during the C7, G7 parts? Yes. So the chord progression is unrelated to the melody at this point. So if I do punch card with labels, unexpected token. Right, so this is doing this, and then this one is a separate thing. So this is doing this. For some reason the website's broken, specifically on this browser. Why do I want the melody not tied to the chords? Well, I don't know. Because what if I want to play things outside of the chord? Or like, I guess maybe I'm not understanding the question. if I did this. Oh, I need to set this to be a lower octave. So I believe now it's kind of in the same kind of octave as the melody. How do we do it? How did they do anchor? They did anchor. Right? Anchor to align the voices. Chord, anchor this to A4. Maybe A3. Whoa, that's very dark. Yeah, defaults to A5. A4. So A4 is the highest note that the chord will play. It's playing some notes. Welcome, Yo Bowser. The superior language? No way. You've arrived just as Twitch is about to show some ads. So that's the worst time to possibly arrive. In the next 40-something seconds, Twitch is gonna start showing 3 minutes of ads. What is a good way to make a melody? What's a good lo-fi melody? We could also do kalimba. Oh wait, I think a better way to do this is actually you could define your scale. It's gonna be A6 major. Let me check to make sure I understood how to do this. Yeah, instead of typing the notes, you can just choose the number of the note. Scale C minor. Sound. It's actually A minor, right? And then sound piano. Okay, so we can do like note number 0, and then maybe you go up to 3, 2, 1, 4, 2, 1. I think I did something wrong because everything here sounds the same. Oh, you gotta do .n. It sounds like Lavender Town. Anyway, I'm gonna drink some water while Twitch is showing ads. Alright, I've done it. I've done it, I've hydrated. I want to make the snare drum a bit less loud. Gain 0.6. Same thing for the bass drum. Same thing for the hi-hat. Okay, let's see, let's go 0, 2, 4, 3. And then maybe 3, 0, 2, 3, 4, 3. Maybe 0, 2. Whoops. And then after that we are in F, which is A, B, C, D, E, F. That's 6, the 6th chord. So it's weird because these are 0 index, so you usually think of like the first note as A, that's actually the 0th note. But I could do something else where I subtract 1 just to make it easier to read. So we'll know now. Now this is the actual 5th. Alright, so now we're gonna be in the 5th, the 6th. The chord is gonna be the 6th chord. And that's gonna be 6, 6, and then 5, 4, maybe. What about this? That sounds alright. And then we're in chord 3. So go to 3. Maybe something like 3, 5, 4. And then maybe hold it. And then go back to 5. And then you're in G. And G is the 7th, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7. That's a suspended chord. Sorry, by suspended I mean diminished. So you can go from 5 up to 7 down to 6. And then maybe hold the 6. And then you can go to back down to 5, and then maybe 3. Alright, that's our lo-fi beat. Good old lo-fi beat. Yeah. We have created a lo-fi progression of some sort. You could also make the chord progression. The chords don't have to always be playing like for the whole time. It could be like I wish this had like an auto formatter. I don't like having to like manually format this stuff. Like this. So you could do like maybe like struct. Like you could play nothing and then play something. But then it's like, then what do you do for the other one? Well, maybe you could layer. You could layer it. So maybe every other one you do something else. Maybe like good question. Welcome Siga Migs. Okay, maybe like every other one you only play the root note. So like this one you'll play all the chords, and then in the other one you can simply just play the root notes. I think I did something wrong. How do you do root notes again? Root notes. Root notes. Oh, you gotta do dot note after that. Or not, or maybe I did something wrong. This is showing the wrong label. It might be because I'm using Firefox. It works fine on Chrome. Alright, so for some reason this is not working. Pattern, maybe I need to do it here. Pattern, chord progression, maybe this stuff needs to go after. Oh, that's what it was. You have to add the sound afterward. Alright, so this is the chords that are playing. Maybe root notes could be the third. I don't know if that actually sounds good. It's this one. We could do a G. Is there a G sus2 chord? Is that a thing? It's available here. Sus2. They don't have sus2. Where's the sus2? Do they only have sus4? The default sus chord? B9 sus. 9 sus. Okay, I mean we could do G sus chord. And then what? Okay, I don't know about this root notes thing. Okay, what if instead of this, it was... There's also different voicings you can do. Let's check. Voicings, there's like a function, a dictionary that you can use to choose which chord voicing to use. Like, let's say like pattern.dictionary. There's one called like left hand or something. Left hand. Should probably put the struct afterward. You call this, and you call chord, and then anchor. Maybe I did it wrong. I'm pretty sure it's called left hand. Chord, oh, you call chord and then dictionary. Is that right? It doesn't look right to me. What is this? Left hand. Let me check the code base. Strudel. Codeberg. Does anyone use Codeberg? It's like really hard to use compared to GitHub. I get that they're on Codeberg for like ethical reasons because GitHub has some problems. But the fact that you can't search, you cannot search the code. There's also no, okay, find a file. What would the file, voicings. Voicings.mjs. So these are the voicings. Left hand, that is one, and yet it doesn't work. Left hand, they also have guide tones, triads. Let's do left hand, right? But that doesn't work. You call chord, and then you call the dictionary, and then anchor. Maybe that's what it is, the anchor. needs to be here. No, that's after. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I don't actually call voicing. Right. Okay, see, this is like the same chord, but it's using a different voicing. But then for some reason, there's sometimes when it's not playing any. Oh, it's not playing anything because of this. What are these empty spaces here? What is that? Why is it doing that? Is it this? Is it this thing? I don't know. Let's say I didn't have this. What if we only had in this one? Oh, I think one of these doesn't exist. Hold on. I think because, like, okay, we can see which chord. Oh, G sus doesn't exist. Wait a second. It should exist. It's literally sus. Oh, because the left-hand voicing doesn't have regular sus. I see. This is a problem that I think is that these, okay, so the left hand only has these voicing. If you use G sus for some reason, it doesn't get defined here. So you actually have to like add a custom voicing, which is quite confusing. I imagine people that do not know JavaScript can be like, what is this? You need to do something like this. Add voicings, custom. Go back here. So you have triads, left hand. And the default voicings dictionary is iReal, which is apparently something, some kind of thing. So we can start off with custom. Instead of left hand, custom. Alright, that's why. And then I bring this back. But then since G sus only exists in one of them, it'll play the exact same chord twice, which is not great. Is there G sus in triads? It doesn't. Okay, what if we just get rid of, oops, just get rid of the G sus. Instead of G sus, just regular G. Sure. We could also make it so that the second one anchors to something a bit lower. This could be like maybe like G4, maybe F4. Maybe up higher. Maybe A Maybe like C5. Alright, I mean this is lo-fi enough, right? Any other instruments that usually go with lo-fi beats? Top line melody that talks to chords, call and response. Add some groove. Use swing on your hi-hats. Shift snare slightly late. Nudge some hits off the grid. I think there is a function that can delay things. Let's see. Add swing on your hi-hats. Okay, so hi-hats could be delay. Sets the level of the delay signal based on what? What is the time? Seconds? What? It doesn't really say. Okay, it's like the level. Is that just like 1 is the maximum? I guess 1 is the maximum. If we delayed all of this by 0.1. It could be delayed perhaps by 0.1 and then 0.2. And snare drum could be also delayed. 5.2. Bass drum. I don't know what a good value is. 0.7. What about 6.7? That is very delayed. Is that what delay is? Hold on, this sounds like an echo. Delay FB, delay feedback. Maybe, okay, maybe I misunderstood delay. Delay appears to just be an echo. Which is maybe what we want actually. Maybe we want an echo for the piano. Ooh. Wait. That sounds nice. We could also add some room to the piano. I think that doesn't do anything. Alright, what are some other... I was gonna say weapons. What are some other weapons that sound good? What are some other instruments? Lo-fi instruments. Jazz. Electric guitar, jazz. Instruments, melody. It's gonna be sound, piano, delay. Okay. So instead of piano, what about GM, electric, guitar, jazz? Ooh. That sounds nice. Oh, what if we had this playing an octave lower? That'd be nice. We could have the main thing be a guitar, and then... Well, I guess we need some bass, right? I mean, this isn't really bass. What if we had some bass? Sub melody. What's this called? Sub melody? Is harmony? Oh, I closed the tab. It'd be harmony. The main one will be piano. Piano maybe with a lesser delay. Okay. And then let's do layer. So your layer, you have the pattern. The main pattern is going to be instrument melody. And then the harmony is going to be maybe a scale. It's like a bit lower. Instruments plural. Oh, that sounds nice. How do I make it sound better though? I could, okay, this harmony could have like more delay. It could be a bit quieter. And it's not just an octave lower. Isn't this usually also like transpose somewhat? Or would that not sound good? What is usually, okay, so we transposed it by a few notes. Scale transpose, no, I just want an offset. Scale transpose, transpose notes inside. And scale by number of steps. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Scale transpose. Scale A3 minor. Scale transpose. Number of steps inside the scale. So like a third? Would a third sound good? Ooh. No, that sounds bad. What do you usually have the harmony as? A fifth? Sounds strange. Sounds quite strange. Sometimes it sounds good though. But like here it sounds weird. Give it a second. Number of steps inside the scale. What about -1? Not -2. Maybe we don't scale transpose. We could also extend the melody. It could be, it doesn't just have to be this. It could be, where are we at? We could keep the same like rhythm and just change the notes around. So this will be maybe like 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 3, 5. And then this will be 6. Maybe 6, 4, 5. And then what? And then C7 is the third. So it'll be, what if it goes 5, 4, 3. And then back up to 5. And then after 5 goes to, go to 6, 7, perhaps 6, 7. And then 4, yeah, maybe just this. Alright, what does this one sound like? That 4 sounds weird. Okay, what if it was 6, 5, 4, 5? Alright, what else is in a lo-fi beat? Saturation, tape emulation, bus compression? What the heck? Focus on vibe over impact. Lo-fi drums don't need to slam. They need to settle, let them feel sleepy, soft, and nostalgic. Okay. End with a fade. Mix and bounce. How to make lo-fi music. What is lo-fi music? Theory, reduce audio quality, colorful chords, loops, humanization, lower BPMs. Would you listen to this as lo-fi stream beats BGM for your for your stream? Oh, yeah, this is pretty chill, right? Easy. Beginner's Guide to Lo-Fi Music Making Tips. Lo-Fi hip-hop. Essential beats and melodies, drum beats. Trumpet. Do they? Oh, saxophone. That's an instrument. That is an instrument. Forgot about those. Saxophone. GM alto sax. That's too loud. We want baritone. That's too loud. Alright. Not that. Trumpet. Do they usually have trumpets in lo-fi? I feel like they don't. GM muted trumpet. Why does this sound so weird? It's because trumpets are usually a lower octave. I don't know what this one. Saxophone. What about a clarinet? Do they have clarinets in lo-fi? I don't even hear it. Oh, there. Oh. Okay, well that's not good. Okay, but what if it was what if it was a pulse wave? But without a delay. What if this one was a, what if this one was a sawtooth? Without a delay. The melody even playing? I don't know. Alright, that sounds fine. Synthesizer, lo-fi aesthetic, simple manipulation, effects processing, music theory, sub-bass. Oh, what about a, let's see, an acoustic bass? Bass, let's add an acoustic bass. Bass. Sound GM acoustic bass. So bass could play maybe like just our chord tones. Could play chord progression. Root notes. Octave 2. And then note. Ooh, do you hear that? It's there, it's playing. Euclid. What was it called? Euclid something. Euclid 3, 8. Okay, so we have like a baseline. We could also, let's see, what's it called? Fmap. Fmap. Ah, whatever, this is good. This is good enough. We got our melody, we got our bass, we got percussion. We have made a lo-fi BGM. Okay, but what if we swapped out our chord progression with Pachelbel's chord progression? Everyone freaking loves Pachelbel's chord progression. Put this instead of our usual lo-fi. Oh no, but our melody is not in the same scale. It's gonna sound a bit weird. That sounds weird. It doesn't even match. I guess we could change the scale. This is in Canon in D. It could be D. Whoa. Oh, it should be major. Major. And that should be C4. Lo-fi Canon in D. Chord progression. There it is. Going. Sounds alright. Okay, but let's undo all of that. All right, what else do I do today? We got 20 minutes. What if we make another song? Another song in a genre that I don't know. City pop. How to make city pop. What if we make a city pop song? How to make a city pop song. How to write city pop. Lyrics? No. I want a guide. Tell me the chords. Tell me the instruments. Tell me the rhythms. Jazz and fusion inspired harmony. 80s style synth patches. Baby audio. Percussion. Nostalgia. To write a pop song? No, specifically city pop. How to make city pop. How to compose Japanese city pop music. Wait, this is an AI page? Text.ai. Free city pop music generator. AI music. How to make city pop. Everything here is a video. I guess it would make sense. You would want music. Man, how many of these are like AI now? Create city pop music using Suno AI. Intro chords. City pop. Guide to city pop. This isn't really the kind of website that would tell you like the chords to use. The rhythm. Whatever. Okay, maybe we don't make city pop. Maybe I do that off stream. Anyway, this is our lo-fi song. What about this one? The previous song we made today. 12-bar blues. Now that's music. Now that's what I call music. How about this one? This one was made off stream. It's pretty nice. So go back to Little Root Town, of course. Of course, okay. Well, That website did mention different chords though. Like I used these ones, but they did say there were other ones that you could use. And I did not try those. Lo-fi. Welcome Piss, hello. Lo-fi. How to make lo-fi music. What was that website I was just on? Was it this one? No, it was not this one. It was this one. Yes. Alright, the other chords they said we could use were D minor, G, C, A minor. Okay, let's try that one. Leave that here. So would this be in the chord of a D minor? No, this one says to be, okay, try A minor. Is this still, oh, this does have A minor, okay. What if we just tried this chord? And then what if we did the same thing Not like this. Oh, but then our chords are different. Our melody is no longer aligned with our chords. So this is not going to sound as good. Can't believe it. But what does it sound like? Oh, that also sounds pretty good. I mean, obviously our melody needs to be adjusted. But like the background sounds fine. Yeah. A lot of options to consider. I guess we could make like we can make like a new melody specifically for this chord progression. And I guess if I had written it based on the chords, this would have been easier to just like update. Get melody. No, you know what? Maybe I'll do that off stream. Maybe I'll do that some other time. Alright. I'm going to export what I have right now. And then copy it over. Downloads. We got this thing. Is there. Right here, literally right here. Replace the file. Replace the file. All right, let's make a new song. In the next 10 minutes, I'm gonna make a new. What the heck is this? Whoa, what the? Wait, hold on. Let's try this at like 100 BPM. About 200 BPM. Oh, original file gone forever? No, it's fine. It's backed up. All right, new song. Test by Walter. All right, what is this song gonna be? I don't know. What if we make Royal Road Progression? Yeah, what about this? Classic Japanese song chord progression. Oh no, but I have to choose a specific key to be in. Because this doesn't by default take Roman numerals. I have to choose one. I don't know. Hololive? What? Royal Road Progression? Hololive Idol Project? Maybe I just make a drum beat. You got good old hi-hat snare drum, open hi-hat snare drum. Dot sound. Classic. Everyone knows this one. I just made it up. It's not real. Okay, what if we just make a drum pattern? Blues shuffle, bossa nova, basic rock shuffle, heavy metal beat, Latin samba, break beat, down tempo, trip hop, trap beat. Sure, what if we made this? Sure. You know, while we're making this, we might as well just play Pachelbel's Canon in the background. Gotta have it. You gotta have it, man. Chords dot chord dot voicing. Okay, set CPM 107 BPM. That's my go-to BPM, specifically because it's well supported by the Game Boy. Okay, set this to be the sound channel. Well, what if it was actually, what was that other instrument? Jazz, GM electric, yeah, electric guitar. Dot room dot delay. Whoa. Struct. What if it was like 1 and 0.3? Alright, then we have a drum beat. Percussion. Oh, we got, what is a classic pattern? A trap beat over Kin and D. Alright, stack. Sound. Hi-hat, struct. Alright, so this struct is going to be, well, let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, we got 16 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we group them like this. And then paste it 3 times. Why can't I select things? Okay. This one's gonna play here and there and there, and then at the end of this one, and then those ones. And then you got the snare drum. It's gonna be on the third. It's gonna be on every third. Times 4. And then a kick drum, which is a bass drum. Gonna be it's gonna be there, and also the 4th one, and some This one right here. Second one. First one. First and fourth of this one. And then the last one, it's only on the second. Oh shoot. That's a trap beat. Good old canon in D with trap beat. Everyone knows it. Okay, then what else? Then chords. What do you do with this? You do N 0, 1, 2, 3 set. How did they do it? They did it like N dot chord dot set chords voicing How does this work? N chord voicing clip room. Why did that not work? Set chords. Why is this one not playing? Oh, chords not chord. Fast 2. And then sound. What instrument? Super saw. Four. Yes. And then instead of electric guitar jazz, change this to be a pulse wave. And then what if it was gunshot? GM gunshot? Sound gunshot? GM gunshot? Oh my god. That does not sound like a gunshot. Photo? Oh shoot. Calliope? They got Calliope Mori in this? GM lead 3 Calliope? How about the Glockenspiel? GM FX Goblins? Goblin Core? Yep, that's Goblins. I like the Koto. Koto and shamisen. That's not what Goblin sounds like? Yeah, Goblin D's. What are some other classic Japanese instruments? Good old, we got the Koto, we got the shamisen. What is this, the shanai? Yeah, okay, what about the shanai? Shania Twain? Stack. And this one could go maybe 3-1-2-0, fast 2, set chords voicing, GM Shania. Sure. What about slap bass 2? GM slap bass 2. What about Ooh, a choir? GM choir? It doesn't sound... Oh, I spelled it wrong. No, look at this one. Oh wait, there's a crackle? What is crackle? Would that go well with the lo-fi? Banjo? Fret noise? Anyway, isn't this cool, guys? You can make music with code. This is all the code you need to make canon in D with the shamisen, koto, shinai, percussion. Wow. Anyway, that's gonna be it for today. I'm gonna save this pattern as well. Save that over. Again. Put that right there. Oh, the day has changed. Guys, the day is different now. It is now the 12th in GMT time. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let's go over what we did today. We made this. We made this. I feel like this lo-fi song is something that I would probably... Like, if I had this as background music in my stream, I would not mind. It is a bit repetitive, but like, you know, a lot of lo-fi is... I think it's quite nice. And then what about this one? I like this one. There's just something really nice about the canon progression, you know? It goes well with so many things. Canon shamisen. Alright, anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Let us find out what date it is. Let's rate someone. Oh no, the music's over. Oh no. Key Deer Awareness Day. COVID-19 Day. No smoking. No code. What? No code. What? Bro, this is the day that I stream coding. What do you mean no code day? Can't believe this. Plumbing Day. What's a day? Plumbing Day? We could do that one. Let's do World Plumbing Day. Salesforce Day? Does it say that? Or does it say that? Plumbing Day. Oh, Dream Day. No, let's do National World Plumbing Day raid. World Plumbing Day raid. Alright, who shall I raid today? Today on this stream. They made... Oh, Salesforce. I see. Let's see. Who is streaming? Which of these people will I send you to? I'm checking my list of people. Scrolling through my list of people to raid. Anyone playing Wolfie's Nonogram? Nope. Okay, I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, how about I send you to what if it was just Choco Jacks? What if we just raid Choco Jacks? Like, I'm gonna be there anyway. Like, why don't I just send you to where I am? Welcome, Teeny, and goodbye. Not till tomorrow. Hemplo streaming tomorrow. He's streaming Wolfie's Zonograms. What the? Anyway, thanks for watching. I will send you over there. I can show you my fish. That's good. I don't even have a fish. I didn't even redeem, get a fish. I don't even have one because it's gonna die one day if you don't feed it. I can't live with that. I can't live with the guilt of the fish dying one day. Like, do they have infinite lifespan? If you continue feeding them, do they always live? Do they not die? That doesn't make sense. What is this? Some kind of immortal fish? No way. Anyway, that's it. Look forward to no stream on Friday or Saturday. Look forward to that. None of that stuff. Next stream is gonna be Monday. Immortal fish. I can't believe this. That this fish would do this to me. Specifically. Anyway, raid's gone. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.